I'm Mark Masters. I co-host the Spindle podcast on wastetoys.com. I also wrote a book about the history of the cassette tape. It's called High Bias, The Distorted History of the Cassette Tape. And I wanted to talk to you today about some of my favorite cassettes. So this is the Bad Brains cassette, self-titled cassette on Reach Out International Records, or ROIR, R-O-I-R. It's one of the first independent tape-only labels. This was a huge seller for them. It kind of made the label and made Bad Brains. This one has liner notes by Ira Kaplan from Yo La Tengo, and I actually got him to sign my copy. So this is Songs of Pain by Daniel Johnston, or as he puts on the cover, Dan Johnston. Music he recorded in 1980 to 81. This is one of the handmade cassettes that he made of this album. He would record them in his house, in his garage a lot of times, and he would just walk the streets of Austin and pass these out. So this is a cassette of Fripp and Eno. It's one of those awesome cassettes from the 70s and 80s that has two albums on it. This one has No Pussyfooting and Evening Star, one on one side, one on the other. The two-for cassette was always a big staple of me growing up. I loved it when they put two albums on one cassette. It's such a good deal. So this is a tape by the New Zealand band The Clean called Oddities. It's a collection of kind of outtakes, songs that didn't make it on records. And it's a cassette. These things, some of the songs on here only came out on cassette. It's on Flying Nun, the great New Zealand label that brought us so many great bands like The Chills, The Clean, The Bats, even The Dead Sea. This is a cassette on Reach Out International. It's Eight-Eyed Spy, Lydia Lunch's band that came after Teenage Jesus and the Jerks. It's really kind of a wild trip to hear her fronting a band that's actually playing music that you've heard of. So this is a tape by a Chicago artist named Hallie Palumbo. Hallie got access to these old cylinders, like one of the first recording formats, and Hallie took the weird sounds and music that was found on these cylinders, remixed them, remade them into really spooky, weird tracks. This is a tape by an artist called Cop Funeral. It's called Jake. It's on the label Already Dead Tapes, which was once based in Chicago, now based in LA, run by Josh. I think his last name is pronounced Tabia. And this is his solo project, actually, Cop Funeral. And so I actually also have wandered into the world of tape releasing myself. This is a tape that goes along with my book, High Bias. It's called High Bias Music from the Book. It's got stuff from Astral Spirits, Already Dead, Moonglyph, 40 Little Fruit, Hausu Mountain, Orange Milk, all the best, what I consider to be the best labels, or at least my favorite labels going right now. So my book, High Bias, and the tape that goes along with it is out on October 3rd. You'll be able to find it at my Bandcamp, or go to highbiasbook.com or UNC Press's website.